Welcome guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm here with Philipp Niehus, aka iCentrix, who was the best performing Solfachord player at YCS Lille, probably one of the only ones who brought the deck, and he performed very well with it. He went like 7-8 day 1, but unfortunately day 2 wasn't that good. But he's here to showcase you the deck, and maybe after that you want to play it at YCS Anaheim. Because I think, and he thinks as well, that the deck has a lot of potential going forward into the format. Philip?
Yeah. Hello, everyone. You might have seen the list already on my Twitter, which will be down below in the description box. But I still thought a lot of people asked me for the list, so why not share my thoughts a bit and show you a combo later how you can do the best combo line with one card.
Perfect.
So then, just quickly going over the profile. As I said, you might have seen it on Twitter already. These ones should be free Joe. Shout out to the man behind the cam, Tom, who borrowed them to me.
You mean Noroi?
From who I borrowed them. Yeah, the Noroi.
Yeah.
Probably the best card of the deck. Then free Joe, free Izuna, one Lupus, one Lantern, free Case, and an X-Force release. So very standard, big Canine package, as you might have seen it in other decks as well. This deck specifically can't really bridge from the Canines into the Solfachord, so you need to go into Saruja and then draw one of your, I think it's 10 extenders, which get you one card into the Solfachord combo, which is fine, I think. Then coming to the main Solfachords. So free Solfachord Gracia, level 5 monster, so synergizing perfect with the Canine cards. This one just searches a spell on summon. If you are interested in a bit more in-depth description of them, you can check out the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card EU channel, where I actually filmed a deck spotlight on the Friday, where I explain the cards a bit more in detail. Then free Primoa also searches on summon, searches a card. This one just a spell, and has some nice bonus effects which you also need in the combo. One QTR adds a monster, just playing one because it's not a one-card combo on its own, at least not a good one. So you need the one to get an extra search, but you can't really start with it. And then the last monster, two Solfigia, very loaded card. You need it. It's most importantly, it's an odd scale. It's the only odd scale that I played because it's the only good odd scale, honestly. Can summon it from hand, it can extend, it is an right across as negate, which you can use. So yeah, these are the pendulum monsters. And then the most important card, Solfachord Happiness, completely correct card, can activate all 3 effects of it per turn, and all of them 3, they come up. So yeah, just a very good card. And one Solfachord Allegiance, quote unquote a brick, can set a card in a pendulum scale, or 2 if you send a Solfachord from your hand onto the extra deck, which is very, very important in your combo so that you get your scale set up for free. And then also one for one, because the Primoa and the QT, they are both level 1s, so this is also starter for the deck. Coming to the non-engine, 3 copies of Multichami Fuvalos. Honestly, the card wasn't that good for me this weekend. I still think you kind of need to play it, honestly. Free Ash Blossom, very good card in general. Also, to stop the Fuvalos, you can play a bit on the Fuvalos. It's like you're playing pure Canine most of the time. And but this just helps you negate it, of course, to then do the full Solfachord combo. Free Bell, I think also very good non-engine this format, because it hits every deck. 3 impermanence, and a cold buy for the non-engine. So it's 12 hand traps plus a free Izuna, so 15 in general, in 43 cards, and the 1 cold buy, of course, self-explanatory, I think, in a combo deck. And then the last card, you might have seen it already in the tournament. I'm not proud of it. It's the Artifact Mjolnir.
Oh.
Theoretically, you might not have to play it, but it just helps you, especially with you can look into the hand with Noroi, and this just helps you to seal the game without really having to think against against engine heavy decks. You just summon it and win on the spot, honestly. So as I said, 43 cards in total. The only thing I sometimes missed was probably a second Lantern which I could have played, but it's not that mandatory. So yeah, it's not that bad. Coming to the extra deck, IPSP didn't make them that often, but I think it's just like important if you're like getting hit by the Fuva loss and not have like your K9 stuff specifically, or if you feel like, okay, you looked into your hand with Noroi and you need more interrupt, then you can just like summon an IP of 2 K9s to get a bit of more of sealing, even though you give the opponent a Fuva loss draw. But in the combo line, you don't need these two. 10, of course, one artifact Dagda to get the Mjolnir out of the deck. Honestly, that's the main reason why I played this deck over pure K9, because with Dagda, you have enough bodies so that you can access Dagda and the 3 rank 5s, so that you can do the artifact lock. Then best card of the deck, probably, Beyond the Pendulum. Honestly, better card than Electromite in this deck, which might sound crazy, because it gets you like the one extra Pendulum monster you need to get your scale set up with the Elegance. And it's also like a pseudo board breaker, which not everyone knows, because like if 2 monsters with different levels are summoned into its pendulum zones, you can pop 2 cards on the field. Then coming to the Solfachord extra deck monster, Grand Solfachord Kulia. Actually an Omni-Negate if you have an odd scale in your pendulum zones. So this just helps you, like, especially in the 2 cards or 3 card combos, to get like 2 like the Ripper Negate and the Omni Negate of Kulia with your to get your Mjolnir lock through, because like even 2 Bestials then don't work on the Mjolnir if you have Kulia plus Ripper. So there it's pretty good. And one Ceruja Skuldred, which you just need to like try to bridge one Noroi into the Solfachord engine. Actually, I just made this once the whole tournament, and I missed on grabbing one of the 10 Solfachord starters.
Unfortunately.
So, unfortunate. Still won that game, because if you don't draw Solfachord cards, you probably draw a lot of non-engine, and like if you have like your medium board, like with probably like Ash, Imper, and Bell, that should be enough to steal a turn. Then coming to the XYZ monsters, 1 Ripper, 1 Jax, and a Werewolf. Played all 3 of them. I made them all. The only thing is I sometimes miss the second Ripper, because like if you do try to do your combo, you have like both materials off of it. You're often not having like follow up, and in that case, it would have been nice to have like to be able to like just normal another Noroi and go into a second Ripper to then be easily doing the OTK, and also to like have like more hand trap insulation in case they top deck Nibiru, which I couldn't always play around, honestly. But yeah, 1 was fine, I guess. And this combo is pretty correct to just seal games, honestly. Like, because like if you don't know it, the Jax gives your monster, it's if it's under it, so if it's under the Werewolf, it gives the Werewolf like double damage. And Werewolf can attack multiple times, and this way you can sometimes get like 20,000 damage on the board very easily. Then important for the Mjolnir FTK, Nash Knight, CXYZ Nash Knight, number 104, and this was a C104. Shout out to Aaron who got me one, which I gave back by now, of course. Yeah, the C104 can just like pop the Mjolnir, and it also gives you like the advantage of, if you're playing against Draco Tail and they get Mjolnir locked, they could just normal summon Lucias and add a 5 mana to try and play around your try to play in your turn if they are Mjolnir locked. Therefore, I think it's like very good to just like negate your Lucias and discard a card from their hand, like securing the win even if they have Lucias under the Mjolnir lock. And then also important for the lock, Pyrrhus Kinkery. I don't know why this card can summon onto the opponent's side of the field, but I use it very often for that this tournament, of course. Also helps you to like win the game like on turn 3, because sometimes you don't have a lot of gas left in your deck to be able to OTK, and this can just get you like the follow-up back from the graveyard as well, turn 3, which I didn't need, honestly. Never summoned with it from my own graveyard to my field, but it also can help you like against Nip if they maybe like try to attack with Mjolnir, or if they like a way to pop your X-Force release on the field, then you could just like summon Mjolnir back onto their field and lock them another turn. And then last card of the extra deck, Divine Original Zeus. It's a K9 deck, very very strong card. I didn't have space for Typhon. I would have loved to play Typhon because it's so good with Lupus, but yeah, didn't have the space. I needed like every card in my extra deck. I summoned all of them multiple times, so I'm not sad that I didn't play Typhon. It wouldn't have won me a game. Okay, yeah, coming to the side deck, 3 copies of Drawn Lockbird, just good card. 3 Retalcy, 3 Bestials for Mitsu mainly, came very good. Best card in the side deck, Salesman, just pretty good going second. And I set these 3 in for the 3 Fuvalos. And if I have like the Noroi with something as extension, I can just call Drone Lockbird with it to like ensure that I don't get hit by it, because Solfacards, they're not that good into draw, and also it can help you to like call like an Impulse, because Impulse actually stops the Mjolnir lock, and also like to call something like Imperp sometimes, or Ash Blossom, if you looked into their hand before with the Noroi. And last card, 1 Duster, 2 Lightning Storms. They were not that good for me this tournament. Maybe they should have been evenly. Yeah, that's it for the deck. And then I'll now show you the combo. So for the combo, there's different ways to do it. Like you have different starters, but I'll just show you the one with Solfachord Primoa, the 1-card combo. You need a discard for it. And yeah, the combos, they're all kind of similar, but slightly different in the regards of what you add back or summon. But I think it's enough to figure out the patterns. So what you're doing, I'll do them overhead for me, so I hope I don't misplay. You know what, the Primoa, you just add yourself the happiness. You use the happiness to discard 1, add 2 in special then. So you send the monster, you add yourself in this combo line, you add yourself a Q-tier and a Solfagia, which you will summon the Q-tier off and use its effect to add. Then you can add the Gracia. Then you use the effect of Solfagia to summon it from the hand. You use its effect to summon from your hand Gracia, which you just searched. Activate it to add the Solfachord Elegance. Then you go into a link summon of... It doesn't really matter which monsters you use, because you will panel the other monsters out again. The only thing that's like, you want to try to keep your level 5 rounds all the time to be able to go into Ripper soon. First of all, you're going to be on the Pendulum and add yourself another Gracia now, because this is your access into the second level 5 monster you'll have. Then you use the Allegiance to put the Gracia onto your extra deck and set up 2 Scales, which are Primoa and Solfagia. Then you will do your Pendulum summon. You definitely do Gracia. The other one doesn't really matter, because it will be a link of soon. Then what you can now do, which you can always do, is like you can activate this Primoa of your Pendulum summon to add itself back to your hand, just so you get follow-up at least. Sometimes you need the extra slot here to put in a Gracia and summon it off of a second happiness from the Pendulum Zone. But this way it's just follow-up. And then what you're summoning is the Ripper you're going to summon, which you will use now to add yourself a copy of Jokul. I find it. There it is. Get yourself the Joe. Now you can link off the Coolia and the Beyond the Pendulum into a Coolia and trigger Primoa to add back from the graveyard your Gracia, so you get another level 5 into the hand. You activate Joe with Gracia. Summon these two. Activate the Joe to add yourself a copy of Lantern. Now's the thing, like in this command line, because you it's like just one card, you will have to link off your Coolia on Innegate because you're missing the bodies. Most of the time you won't have to do it because it's very rare that you only have like a 1-card combo. But here it's just like for the sake of showing it. Then you overlay these two into the CXYZ Nash Knight. You use the Nash Knight effect. You trigger Dacta to set yourself the Mjolnir. Then you will attach the number C104. You put the Nash Knight, the CXYZ Nash Knight on top. You use its effect, detach the Nash Knight, not detach C104, so that your monster stays, that your C104 stays on the negate. Summon it. You use this effect on summon, which pops a spell trap on the field, which is your set Mjolnir, which you will pop. Then you can use the Lantern to revive the Joe with it. You use the effect of Lantern just to generate the more advantage. You can also decide to search the case for K9. I often search it for release to be able, if I like, because it's like you want it for like the easiest way to OTK possible. And in this way, I can, even if like my King Kree gets removed from my opponent, can still summon the wolf this way. And yeah, then you just overlay these two into Imperial Princess King Kree, use its effect, and summon the Mjolnir on your opponent's side of the field, where it will now trigger and lock your opponent out of the game.
Oh, looks fun.
Yeah, as I said, like the combo, they often work like a bit different. Like often you want to add back with your Primoa a happiness, but here in this 1-card combo for just one Primoa, it doesn't work out because you need the level 5 in your hand.
Perfect. Thanks for showing us.
You're welcome.
If you have any questions about the combos, leave them below or ask Phil directly on his X profile, right?
Yeah, exactly. Just under the profile, you can ask me questions. I'll try to answer them.
Yes, perfect. Thank you, Philip, for the video. Thanks for being here. I will link every social of you and your Konami showcase, what you did on YCS Lille, down below in the description. And yeah, see you next time then. Thanks.